Okay, guys, so I want to quickly do a explanation on brickwork bondings as well. So I'm just gonna read through the theory and then I'm gonna explain as I move through it. But the basic thing that you need to know is we get three types of bonds, which is your stretcher bond, English bond, and your Flemish bond. And your stretcher bond, this is a 3D representation, and that's your plan view, how you place it. Your English bond 3D, and how you present it on plan view. Your Flemish bond 3D, and how you present it. For the bricklayers, they will know when they see a sketch like that. So just going over the theory. A brickwork bonding. When building with bricks, it is necessary to lay the bricks according to a recognized pattern or bond to ensure the stability of the structure and to produce a pleasing appearance. All bonds are designed so that no vertical joints in any one course is above or below a vertical joint in the adjoining course. So basically what they mean with that is, whenever you look at this sketch, like two of these vertical joints, they shouldn't overlap, they shouldn't be in line with each other. It shouldn't be like you have a joint like that, there's your brick for your first layer, and then you have another brick for your second layer. It shouldn't be like the joints are across each other. Like the brick should always basically the brick should always have a 50% lap. So that's a joint, and that's the half of a brick and a half of a brick, half a brick, half a brick, one whole brick. So it should always lap 50%, 50% with the layer below, 50% with the layer below, but it should never be two bricks in parallel placement. That's what they basically mean when they say all bonds are designed so that no vertical joints in any one course is above or below a vertical joint in the adjoining course. So in the adjoining courses, the vertical joints, they are not in line with each other. That's what they mean. Okay, so where did we end with? We ended stating above or below a vertical joint in the adjoining course. Okay, that's where we end. So to simplify this requirement, special bricks are produced or cut from whole bricks on site. So you see, that's where you cut your bricks 50%, 50%. You cut your brick in half and then you place them on top of a whole brick maybe, and then you get your where they lap 50% with each other. In certain bonds, for example, in your stretcher bond, like they will always lap 50% with each other. And that's why you have a cornerstone also, lapping with the shorter face, lapping with the longer face, and then it basically divides that brick into 50-50. But let's continue. The bonds are also planned to give the greatest practical amount of lap to the bricks, not less than a quarter of a brick length. Properly bonded brickwork distributes the load over a large an area as possible, with the angle of spread of the load being 60 degrees. So here we can see angle of spread, the load is always 60 degrees. Now usually what they say here is that the bonds of the bricks, they in practical they shouldn't label with less than a quarter of a brick length. So if you divide the brick into three, like the lab shouldn't be less than a quarter, 1/3 of that brick. So, and that's just to like usually we use a 50% lab, but if you use a quarter lab, it's just gonna help you with properly bonding your bricks so that you can distribute the load like in a spread of 60 degrees, So that's the theory behind why you want to bond it always 1:3, a third of a brick or a half of a brick, like just to make sure that your load spread over that the distribution of that load is over a larger area, over a larger area as possible. That's why you want to lap it 1:3 of a brick or half of a brick. So now we're gonna go to common bonds. The construction materials handbook highlighted the most commonly type of bonds used in brickwork. Here is a brief summary: stretcher bond, English bond, Flemish bond. Okay, so what I just said structure bond. I think it's stretcher bond. So stretcher bond comprises bricks placed with their longer side facing the outside of the wall. This is used for half brick walls and cavity walls. So what I mean with the long face, the longer side of the face, is actually that side there being placed on the outside of the wall. Always long face on the outside, long face on the outside. That's actually the inside, but long face on the outside, long face on the outside, long face on the outside. So that's how you always do your stretcher bond. And then English bond is a very strong bond consisting of alternate courses of headers and stretchers. Like we said, your stretcher is the longer side, your header is the shorter side. So they say we are alternating, so which means your first layer is where you have your longer side, your stretcher side, and then your second layer is where you have your header side, which is the shorter sides of the bricks. So placing them basically perpendicular to your first layer, basically placing it perpendicular to your second layer, 90 degrees. So they're gonna lay like that on top of each other. That's for your English bond. And then your Flemish bond consists of alternate headers and stretches in each course. So basically that's course 1, that's course 2. So we have a mixture of stretches and headers, So let's say consists of alternate headers and stretches in each course. Its appearance is considered better than that of English bond. So this is better than your English bond. This one is better than this one, but is not quite as strong. So the English bond is the stronger one, but the Flemish bond is the better one. This bond requires fewer facing bricks than English bond and is sometimes referred to as the double Flemish bond. So the Flemish bond can also be referred to as a double Flemish bond. But like they stated here, it's not quite as strong. So it's better than that of the English bond, but it's not as strong as that of the English bond. So if you wanna know which one you should use between the English and the Flemish, if you are building with strength, you would rather instead use the English bond. But if you wanna for I don't know why they say for better, it's better. Maybe it's more economical, or maybe it's more practical to use the Flemish bond. So for your workers to carry out a easy work, or maybe it's better for the labor, the guys on site, to use Flemish bond than English bond. But yeah, English bond is always stronger between the two of them, and that's your three main brickwork bondings that we just discussed now.